Have you ever wondered if the story of Noah's Ark is just a myth or if there's real evidence that it actually existed? Scientists, archaeologists, and explorers have searched for proof of the true location of this legendary vessel for years. In this video, we'll explore the latest findings, discuss whether the Ark has really been found, and what this could mean for our understanding of history and beliefs. Imagine what it would be like to discover that one of humanity's oldest stories might actually be true. This knowledge could not only change your view of the past, but also how we interpret sacred stories and their connections to science. If you're searching for answers to deep questions or are simply curious about possible discoveries that challenge current knowledge, stick with me until the end. But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button, it really helps us out. The story of Noah's Ark is one of the oldest and most impactful narratives in human history. According to the book of Genesis, God, observing the growing wickedness of humanity, decided to send a flood to purify the earth. However, Noah, described as a righteous and blameless man, was chosen to save his family and the animal species. Under divine guidance, he built a massive wooden ark, following specific measurements, to house his family and a pair of each animal species. When the waters began to cover the earth, only those inside the ark were spared. This story goes beyond a simple biblical account. It has been interpreted as a lesson on justice, obedience, and renewal. Cultures around the world, from different eras, have similar legends about a great flood, suggesting that the event or its symbolism may have a real historical basis. Noah's Ark has become a powerful symbol of hope, faith, and redemption. Over the centuries, this narrative has had a profound influence on both religious traditions and historical and scientific debates. From Renaissance paintings to modern adaptations, the story continues to capture people's imaginations, reinforcing its cultural and spiritual importance. Understanding this story is essential to grasp how ancient beliefs have shaped, and continue to shape, worldviews in various societies. Since ancient times, curiosity about the real existence of Noah's Ark has driven explorers, researchers, and believers to search for concrete evidence. The earliest searches date back centuries, with accounts from ancient historians like Flavius Josephus, who mentioned the Ark's location on Mount Ararat in Turkey. This site became the most iconic spot and the target of numerous expeditions throughout history. In the 20th century, with advancements in technology and growing scientific curiosity, the expeditions intensified. Explorers used satellites, drones, and radar technologies to try to identify formations that could be associated with the structure of the Arkansas. Some claim to have found traces of ancient wood and structures on Mount Ararat that match the biblical dimensions, but the authenticity of these discoveries remains highly debated. However, the investigations are not limited to Ararat. Other locations, such as mountains in Iran and even regions of the Caucasus, have been suggested as possible resting places for the Arkansas. The search for this sacred relic has become a fascinating challenge, blending science, faith, and the desire for answers. With each new expedition, the hope of solving this mystery grows, keeping alive the belief that Noah's Ark might be waiting to be finally revealed to the world. In recent years, some discoveries have reignited the debate over the location of Noah's Arkansas. One of the most notable claims came in 2010 when a group of Chinese and Turkish archaeologists, part of the Noah's Ark Ministries International Organization, claimed to have found a wooden structure on Mount Ararat at an altitude of over 4,000 meters. According to the researchers, dating tests indicated that the wood was around 4,800 years old, coinciding with the estimated period of the biblical flood. Moreover, the structure appeared to fit the biblical descriptions, with compartments that could have been used to house animals. Images and videos of these excavations were widely publicized, showing what appears to be an ancient, carefully segmented construction. Testimonies from archaeologists and explorers present on the expedition reinforced the possibility that this find could indeed be the remains of the Arkansas. However, many skeptics question the validity of this evidence, pointing to the lack of independent reviews and more rigorous studies. On the other hand, other teams of scientists using ground-penetrating radar technology on Mount Ararat claim to have detected anomalies that could indicate the presence of a large buried structure. While fascinating, these findings have yet to be confirmed as Noah's Ark, and many researchers argue that the formation may be natural or a human construction from another time. The consensus in the scientific community remains divided. While some scholars and religious researchers see these discoveries as promising evidence, most professional archaeologists remain skeptical. The main criticism is the lack of conclusive and peer-reviewed evidence, along with the tendency for some expeditions to be motivated more by personal beliefs than by rigorous scientific methods. Despite these controversies, the recent claims keep the search alive, leaving the question open: are we closer to solving the age-old mystery of Noah's Ark? The possible discovery of Noah's Ark carries profound implications, both for religious faith and for humanity's historical understanding. For millions of people, this story is more than a narrative, it is a spiritual foundation that shapes beliefs and values. If the Ark were truly found, it could strengthen the faith of many, validating biblical accounts that have inspired and guided lives for centuries. Confirming this discovery would bring new weight to the literal interpretation of the scriptures and spark a wave of theological debates, possibly redefining the dialogue between faith and science. Beyond the religious aspect, this discovery would have immense cultural and social implications. The story of Noah's Ark transcends borders and religions, being mentioned in Jewish, Christian, Islamic texts, and in myths from various cultures around the world. This universality suggests that the concept of a great flood has roots in an ancient collective memory, sparking the interest not only of believers but also of historians and anthropologists. On the other hand, a discovery of this magnitude would raise ethical and cultural questions. How would it be interpreted by different religious traditions? Could it unite or further divide the various schools of thought? Moreover, the impact of such a revelation would go beyond the religious sphere, influencing everything from tourism in specific regions to political debates on archaeology and historical preservation. Regardless of the conclusions, the mere fact that Noah's Ark continues to fuel discussions demonstrates the timeless power of this story and its relevance to humanity's cultural and spiritual identity. While the idea of finding Noah's Ark is fascinating, it is not free from skepticism and rigorous criticism. Many archaeologists and scientists view these claims with suspicion, pointing to a series of methodological problems and insufficient evidence. To begin with, most of the discoveries claiming to be the Ark have not been subjected to independent analyses or peer reviews, raising doubts about the credibility of the results. Furthermore, many of the researchers involved in previous expeditions have strong religious motivations, which may influence the interpretation of the findings. One of the main arguments of the skeptics is the lack of material evidence that can be verified by standardized scientific methods. While some sites have presented wooden structures or radar-detected anomalies, this alone is not enough to confirm the existence of the Arkansas. Critics also point out that the dating and identification methods used in some of these discoveries are inconsistent or flawed, weakening the validity of the claims. Another point of debate is the geological issue. Many experts argue that even if a wooden structure were buried on Mount Ararat or elsewhere, the extreme conditions of time and erosion over the millennia would make it nearly impossible for it to remain preserved. Moreover, there is a school of thought that questions whether the account of a global flood, as described in the Bible, can have a literal basis or if it is an allegory. Despite these criticisms, the debate remains alive and intense. The topic of Noah's Ark continues to attract both skeptics and enthusiasts, generating discussions about the boundary between faith and science. This debate, in itself, reflects how the story of the Ark transcends the barriers of religion, involving scientific, cultural, and even philosophical issues. Even if the existence of the Ark is never proven, the search for it leads us to reflect on human nature, our need for answers, and how beliefs and evidence shape our worldview. Whether or not Noah's Ark is found, this ancient story offers profound lessons that go beyond the search for concrete evidence. It speaks to the importance of faith in times of adversity, the need for renewal amid chaos, and the responsibility we have to one another and to the world around us. Whether as a literal account or as a metaphor, the narrative of the Ark has endured through generations because of its power to make us reflect on how we face challenges and preserve what is important in our lives. Now, we want to hear from you. What do you think this story really represents? Is Noah's Ark a symbol of faith, a moral tale, or is there a historical truth behind it? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. See you in the next video.